welcome to another Captain Entertainment video. It's Art coming at you with a book review of Lindsay Faye's The Whole Art of Detection. It's a Sherlock Holmes pastiche. This was the Audible Daily Deal a couple days ago. It was a decently good book. Simon Vance read it. Simon Vance is an amazing narrator. He just feels like Holmes. He gets that old-timey drawl. Really, the book was almost felt as though it was a lost casebook or a lost adventure of Sherlock Holmes, because it was a series of short stories, not one whole narrative. Now, the whole narrative displayed the art of detection, or as the title would say, the whole art of detection. That is true. However, it was not like The House of Silk, which was one full book, or The Hound of the Baskervilles, or The Sign of Four, which is a full novelization, or even Dust and Shadow, which Lindsay Faye wrote, which is a Sherlock Holmes pastiche, which is a full novel. This is short stories in the Holmes canon that were previously undiscovered. As you know, most Holmesians or Sherlockians, whichever one you prefer, they see themselves as the lore is that Sherlock Holmes was actually a living person. I will not dissuade that lore, but I will say that the book adds a lot of good. It can be treated as such, as alongside the canon. It's not as good as the canon because nobody's quite as good as Conan Doyle, with the exception of maybe Laurie R. King with her Mary Russell series, which Sherlock Holmes plays a secondary role. Mary Russell is the true star in that series. But with that said, the book was amazing. The writing was well thought out. The book was well paced. The stories were at the right length to where it was easy to break it up into listening periods, or in any case reading period. Because I'm sure the novelization is broken up in the same way, and it was very easy to take breaks and listen to it in spurts, which can sometimes be good with an audiobook. All things considered, I do not regret my purchase with the audiobook. I think the audiobook was good, and for being a daily deal of being like $2.99 or $3.95 or something like that, it was well worth the price of admission for me. Now, is it worth the price of admission for somebody who isn't a who didn't catch it on the deal? That depends on if you're a Sherlockian or not. If you're a Sherlockian and you want more Holmes, this is the right book for you. If you want to dabble in Holmes, I suggest the actual Conan Doyle stories, or maybe even The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Laurie R. King. I don't suggest this novel, because this novel pretty much assumes that somebody here has read the canon. That's the assumption. Anyway. So, I will... a matter of fact, I'm struggling with what score to give the book. I think I'm going to wind up giving it a 4 out of 5. There were some things that were... It just wasn't a 5 out of 5 book. It was a great book, a fantastic listen, it was fantastically put together, and you can see that Lindsay Faye loves Sherlock Holmes as a whole. And I do appreciate that. I readily do appreciate that. I cannot say any more other than that. So without further ado, I'd say check this one out. Don't buy it unless you really want it. I prefer Dust and Shadow over this one. Dust and Shadow to me was a perfect pastiche, in my opinion, also written by Lindsay Faye. So this is her second stab at Sherlock Holmes. She also wrote Gods of Gotham, in case you're wondering her pedigree. She usually publishes with, and she also wrote Jane Steele, which I have yet to read. So, she is one of my well-liked authors. I won't say favorite, but she's well-liked. But without further ado, remember I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and that's 10:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and 1:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Figure out what you are outside of the U.S. or in Mountain, because I forget what Mountain is. But I do. If you want more of these videos, please subscribe. Hit the bell for your notifications. YouTube may notify you and may not. I don't know. YouTube does its own thing half the time. And without further ado, I'll see you next time, and happy reading to you all.